We're live. We are live. Big hand for Jared. Big hand for Jared.
All right. Clap for myself. How about that?
You definitely want to check out Jared Deals. Awesome podcast. Is it called a podcast channel or just a podcast series?
Good question. I think it's just a podcast. I mean, channel makes it sound like it's on the radio.
Okay.
Which would be cool. I don't know that a lot of people do that when they're on the radio, but it's a podcast wherever you get your podcast.
You can say that. Wherever you get your podcast, we want you to stop and check out Jared Deals, the Louder Now podcast. What is the story behind that, Mr. Deal?
Wow, good question, man. Hey, thanks for having me. I know we haven't done this in like a few months, so it's fun to just reconnect. Well, yeah, about 3 years ago, kind of the beginning of 2019. I had taken a break for a few years from really speaking about my mental health journey, and there was a couple of kind of local suicides that happened, kind of. Just got me thinking like, oh, wow, I kind of want to start talking about my journey again, or, in a more of a vocal way. So yeah, my roommate, Will, my friend, he helped me start a podcast, and we did about 12 episodes together. And then, I've taken a couple of breaks because it's just you by yourself. And some of the breaks have been because of going through stuff too. And yeah, 3 years later, I've done over about 100 episodes now, which is a lot. And thanks. And a lot of stuff happened in 2021. I did like a lot of conversations, not interviews. And you were one of them. That's how we connected a few, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I don't remember. But yeah, man, just going strong. So sorry, that's a long answer to your question. But, just enjoy talking and telling my story, hearing other people's stories.
Yes.
Talking about my faith, but also talking about other things that are connected, like addiction and culture. Done a couple of autism stories. April is like Autism Awareness Month. And so there's always something going on when you're podcasting. You're like, this month is this month is this, and you kind of can't keep up. So,
well, this podcast here today, this recording, courtesy of LinkedIn and StreamYard, is to address a question that is close and dear to my heart.
Okay.
And I've asked my buddy Jared to chime in on this question, which again is very close and dear to my heart. And the question is, why play-based team building experiences? Why play-based team building experiences helps to open the conversation of positive mental health at work? And for those of you who might be meeting me for the first time, I'm Robert Mandelson, the creator and facilitator of Powerful Play Experiences, Positive Workplace Mental Health for Teams. And I'm all over the idea that one of the best ways, easiest ways, fun ways to get people talking about positive workplace mental health is through play-based team building experiences. So I use fun, I use play as my strategy to get people comfortable and have them feeling at ease with talking about positive workplace mental health. And I'm very good at this. I'm very good at this, whether that's online or face-to-face. So the question is, Jared, why play-based team building experiences in terms of helping to open the conversation of positive mental health at work, home, office, hybrid? So why play based? Why do I engage in play to get people comfortable, make it easy to start the conversation about mental health or positive mental health at work?
Yeah, good question. Big question. Yeah, I think anytime, I think kind of just naturally, right? We're not super prone to like, open up, especially about our struggles, and probably especially at work because, whatever, in the name of like being professional, like having boundaries, or maybe the fear of getting fired, right? You're not going to necessarily open up in the break room, right? To like, I have bipolar, right? I had an episode. I didn't sleep last night, right? That's the kind of thing you would do, like hanging out maybe outside of work. It's still maybe not, I don't know. But I think the idea of like movement, right? The idea of like moving, like literally moving, or not literally, well, physically moving, kind of gets our thoughts and our brains kind of like thinking, whereas if you were to just sit down and kind of just try to have a discussion, right, it would be harder to kind of maybe trigger how you're really feeling. But I think through certain kind of exercises and movement of the body, kind of then your brain sort of opens up in a way where it's like you start thinking about things because you're doing like activity. If that makes sense, right? Which is why like exercise helps us so much and is also hard to kind of stick with sometimes too, because we don't always feel like movement, right?
Well, so let's we're gonna take another 5 minutes here and put the pressure on Jared by asking him for 2 more very solid reasons as to why play-based team building experiences with emphasis on play-based helps to open the conversation of positive mental health at work, and is awesome. Number one reason, it's all about movement. It's all about getting your body physically active and moving around, and that act alone changes the nature of what's going on inside the brain. And in fact, it opens up the brain to fresh ideas, fresh thinking, just
Right.
the act of body movement. So the act of playing with people and getting them into the act of physically moving around is a great way to stimulate the brain, shift the brain, and for a readiness to receive the idea of, hey, let's talk about mental health.
Yeah.
In it number two, Jared.
Well, I think the other thing is that by then, so we said movement was the first thing, right? Then by watching other people then body language, right, and respond to the activity, also then kind of opens up our perspective of, if that makes sense. Like when you see other people doing something too, there can be kind of more of a space to be vulnerable, right? It's like putting a bunch of people in a room and then, hey guys, like share your deepest fears, just go and stand up, probably no one's gonna take charge. Maybe like 1 out of 50 will be the brave soul, right? But I think when everybody's kind of working together and moving, then the second thing is like your observation and like what you see people doing. Then you go, oh, I can open up, or I can be like, I guess people get more comfortable. You would know more than me because this is your job.
That's what that is mind blowing. That is mind blowing. The act of people standing, moving about through play based experiences, team building experiences, and connecting with one another, in large part shifts the energy shifts the energy away from you to a degree, because just that movement in the room heightens your degree of observation of what's going on around you. Right. And once you see others, because now you're attentive to others in the room, because you're in a group experience, team experience, once you're attentive to others visually, And through fun language and playful language
Yeah.
around mental health, which I use, fun language and playful language, you see in your observations others feeling less vulnerable about talking about mental health. And because it's in a group experience, you almost feel like, well, that's a friendly invitation for me to feel part, to join in, be part of the group and share as well.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is just I've already kind of said this a little bit, but like it's just the bonding that takes place when you're doing stuff together with people, right? There's like this memory that's created. You're laughing, which is why, like, if you were a kid and you went to camp, right? You're like, come back and you're like best friends with like everybody. It's like, well, yeah, well, what did you expect? You know what I mean? Like all day, every day with people, and work is like you spend a lot of time at work, and sometimes you don't even realize or know what's going on with people that you see all the time, right? And so it's kind of can be a beautiful, vulnerable thing. Like, oh, I didn't realize that you were going through that, or I didn't realize that. So I think just the activity together for a day or for an hour brings people closer together. I mean,
right,
probably does. So
right, and Jeanette Martin of my good friend Jeanette Martin, MYBC Consulting. Check that out, MYBC Consulting. Jeanette Martin chimed in and said, she said, what better way than play to get people to feel inclusive? And that's what I heard in what you were bringing forward as point number 3, the inclusivity, the all in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the act to be a joiner, get connected, be part of some a fun play experience. The energy in that, and the safety of the inclusiveness also levels or drops the level of vulnerability or lowers it even further to the point that, one, I'm moving around. Physically, my brain is now operating in a very different way and much more open to fresh ideas. 2, I'm observing what's going on around me, be it that I'm in a group experience and I see others quite comfortable with a playful conversation around mental health. And you know what? I feel included. And maybe I haven't even shared yet, but I'm feeling included due to the playfulness of what is taking place. And I feel like I'm part of something bigger than myself. I've joined in. I'm a joiner, and this is cool. I think I could join the conversation. Jared?
I like it. Yeah, exactly. I like what you said, being a joiner. I mean, I think everybody is, and it might be obvious to some people or not, but everybody's wanting connection, right? And vulnerable connection too, just wanting to be understood by not everyone, but someone or one or two people, right? And that's a powerful, beautiful thing in life when you can do that. So I think you're setting people up to experience that kind of deep connection. And look, life is hard, and we all struggle with loneliness and feeling the opposite of that. So I think
which is what we don't want in a play-based team building experience. I checked that at the door. At the door, because most people arrive with that idea that that's going to happen. So I checked that at the door. And point number 4. We're adding 2 more points here. Awesome. We have a couple more minutes. Jeanette writes, you learn your role in the organization in a fun way too when you play. So that's poetic.
Yeah, I like that.
But I like what you said, just to springboard on that. You learn your role in the organization, but you learn it from a feeling perspective, right? Not your title, not where you sit on the hierarchy, but you learn that your role within the organization, the act of being part of something bigger than yourself, and joining alongside team members to move the organization's purpose forward. That happens through play. It's inviting Jared to come into the sandbox with his pail and shovel, with other kids who have their pail and shovel, and now it's bigger than himself, because now he's participating with the other kids and building that massive sandcastle. And his role is to contribute through play in the creation of that sandcastle. So that joining in feels good. Feels good.
It does, yeah. I mean, here in California, it's sandcastles on the beach, and you got to be far enough away from the water so it doesn't wash your sandcastle away. But,
okay, in at number 5, and then I want to come back to Jeanette's comment, and we'll wrap things up. So, movement, a physical movement. Science says it shifts the brain, and you're now more open to ideas. The physical movement of the body shifts the brain's thinking. Being part of something bigger than yourself, a group experience. All in, join this, be part of this. And then watching others around you react and join in and be part of something bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
Feeling comfortable or even less vulnerable to talk about mental health. Hey, I feel pretty good. I've left work aside. I'm in a play thinking mode. In at number 5, Jared.
Number 5. Man, I'm not sure. I mean, I think just the vulnerable experience thing again, and I also think it's like, just there was like this one famous quote that said, like, it's not what you look at, it's what you see, right? And it's kind of like your perspective is what changes over time, like in life, right? And I think when you have an openness to learning about other people's experiences,
wow,
right, your perspective changes. So I think that's probably the fruit of what you're doing, or like by the end, kind of like the camp experience, right? Like,
yes,
life, and maybe not with everyone, right? Maybe the opposite happens where you're like, I don't like that person. No, I'm kidding. But I would say a lot of positive stuff comes out of all of that, where maybe your perspective changes on your role. And like you were saying, the emotional experience of everybody has something to give, I think. So I think expanding the giver part of you, like, I think when we struggle, we don't feel like we have anything to offer, right? So the opposite happens. If you feel like you have something to give, there's less loneliness in that.
Well, you feel when you're part of something bigger than yourself, you're more apt to think of where you fit in, right?
Yeah.
And how you can contribute.
Exactly.
In a play-based team experience where we have fun and use fun language, and we play and we use play language to bring forward awesome conversations about mental health.
Yeah.
You're part of something bigger than yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
And that could bring down the uncertainty and fear of sharing your own story. And by all means, everyone shares their story in their own way. It's freedom to play and freedom to share your own way. Freedom to share your own way.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Jeanette writes, bring a beach ball. She wants Summer back. She wants Summer back.
Hey, Jeanette, what's up? We actually connected on LinkedIn yesterday, and I said hi, and after how the weather was, and she sent me a beautiful picture of
That's good.
guide, and I was like, dang, that looks nice. I really can't complain in California. I mean, it's really perfect right now, and our winters are really short, and it's literally like gonna start getting hot again. So no complaints here. And yeah, I do need to go to the beach now that I said that. That makes me want to go, build some sandcastles with my nephews or something. So
If what Jared and Jeanette and I have tweaked your curiosity about introducing conversations around positive mental health through play-based team experiences, contact me, powerfulplay.ca, Robert at powerfulplay.ca, online or offline. Jeanette put in a plug for me here. She said, last year at the annual Gratitude and Appreciation Summit International, Robert led a fabulous online play experience. Check out Powerful Play Experiences on YouTube and check out the video of the fabulous play experience that Robert facilitated at last year's Gratitude and Appreciation Summit International, which is an annual event, so keep your eyes open for that. Jared, you rock. It's 11:54. Edmonton time. You always teach me so much, and you've taught me so much again today. It's amazing. It's amazing how much I don't know until I show up with you.
Thanks for saying that, man. I appreciate that. That's really humbling. I hope I can stay in that zone, of always learning. And I have a lot of close friends and people who I feel like know way more than me. So lots of deep conversations all the time. Those people out there know who they are, right? And that helps me just, that's why I do the podcast too, kind of just always learning from people's perspectives and stuff to just kind of stay like, not rigid about learning, so.
And very quickly, if you're watching this video, you can see how much fun and playful Jared and I were in the conversation, and that made the podcast content easy, right?
Of course, man. We're friends, and we've never met in real life. I mean, not real life, but in person. Yeah. Not that never say never, man. I'd definitely come to Canada, man. Go play some hockey, go hiking. I know. I was joking the first time I met you. I was like, I grew up playing ice hockey, and I got to get back on the ice here. I'm being lazy, but I love hockey, and I'm like, I know that Canada has more than just hockey. So,
well, we have fun up here. Apparently, we have lots of fun up here, and you can see how just inserting fun and play into the conversation today shift the energy between Jared and I, and made the experience of talking about positive mental health at work that much more easier, less vulnerability, lots of smiles. So today was actually watch the video again, watch it again, and think of how fun and play and good energy impacted Jared and I in bringing forth the conversation and how easy it was. So today was a good example of how fun and play works when you bring it into the conversation. Okay, we got to run. Thank you very much and have a great day.
All right.
Okay.